Hello and welcome to the Angel Hustle, where I talk about your angel training, whether you're an angel or not, and everyday struggles from a higher perspective. Today I want to talk about something a little bit more, not so talked about, more so like swept under the rug, so to speak. Something that's kind of hidden in plain sight. I wanted to talk about God being a being of color. If you think about it, when you surround yourself in nature, you see nothing but color. I know a lot of people are saying that, we are the only beings on this planet that can see in color. But to be honest, there has to be a reason of why. But I want to say that if you look at the colors of trees or animals or whatever the case may be, you see, different colors, right? But you see darker shades of the same color. Like, I know there's some colors that are light, but most of the time they're darker shades. Like, for instance, on a tree, you see on a tree that is a shade of dark green most of the time. Of course, that's debatable when you go into autumn, but mostly that's what you see. That when they're in their thriving color and they're in their best life, they are a dark shade of green. The majority of people are people of color. You have, Asians being a person of color, Hispanics being a person of color, black people being a person of color. So those three particular groups of people are colored people. They are not considered white. And there's a reason why. I feel like God is indeed a being of color, because if we go back to the beginning in Africa, you will see that a lot of people came from Africa, right? Everybody came from Africa, and if you keep recessing the genes, because if you think about it, due to climate change and recessive genes, you have different types of people. But for instance, like if a black person were to travel to Asia, and due to climate change, they're going to have to adapt to the changes. So over time, they're going to change into something else. Opposed to white people, they're just compressed of different recessive genes that, the Africans had. So technically, we all come from Africa. We all come from black people. And to top it all off, due to the climate change in different parts of the world, or due to recessive genes, that's how we end up having what we have now. So that's what I really wanted to touch bases on. I mean, there's a lot to put on there. Even in King James Version of the Bible, a lot of people don't go into Old Testament because a lot of people think that Old Testament is over and done with, but that's not true. If you go into the Old Testament and the Song of Solomon, it says, I am black. It says that. So that lets you know that the chosen people are indeed black people. They are not Ashkenazi. They are not Russian. They are black. Okay? They're your so-called African Americans, Jamaicans, Haitians, all those different people from all over the world. We're scattered everywhere, so I'm not going to put like a whole bunch of labels on it. If you're black and you're on the other side of the continent, 9 times out of 10 you are either Egyptian or you are Hebrew, and your spirit is going to tell the difference. But back to the being of color. I went off tangent. If you really look in plain sight, everything that is, whether it's nature, which is what we need to look at, nature within its raw appealingness. If you look at nature within itself, you will know that God is indeed a being of color. Even in space, there are different types of color in space. So, that's what you get, Beyond this blue sky, you see a surreal darkness, like black. It's a black sky with stars all over the place, right? So, just think about it. Think about it before you come on here and start talking, I don't know what I'm talking about. Just sit down and actually think, like, okay, what, is this really the truth? You have to really think about that, because there are so many types of people out here that think that God is white, and He is not white. He is a being of color, and it says, and nature speaks on that in volumes. So that's just a point I wanted to point out. If you want to add to it, you can drop whatever your thoughts are in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next video where I talk about the Holy Spirit being vindicated. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye.